say that they have been redeemed, and who has seen their chains come falling off and live as those who dream a dream. That's me, I promise you. Here I am. Here I am. Here I am. All of you. Here I am. Here I am. Here I am. All of you. Who wants to rise up in the house of our God? Who wants to give the Lord a mighty shout? Who wants to be a pillar in His presence? Who couldn't
Welcome to The Counter,
where we decode the lies of modern day culture.
using biblical truths, divine revelation, and prophetic insights.
Pull up a seat to this prophetic powerhouse
where we expose the enemy's playbook.
We will counter fear.
We will counter deception.
We will counter woke ideology.
We will counter legalism.
we will counter the occult.
This
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 is The Counter.
Well, boom. Hello, everybody. Blessing and peace on you. A little bit of promotion right there for our show that's coming up in the fall time. We're going to be releasing in the month of November, and it's called The Counter. And we're actually going to be having an ODX weekend that weekend. And if you're a third stage, we're going to have you guys come in because all of those cats are all going to be here, and we're all going to spend the weekend together. I will give you a lot more information about that later. Hello, everybody. Troy Brewer here coming at you strong. Well, I am caffeinated. I'll put it, coming at you caffeinated, highly caffeinated today. And I've got a great show for you here today. We're going to be talking about my most recent episode on blurry creatures. We're going to be talking about that. I also have special guest, Todd Coconato is going to be joining me today. And I have another special guest that is seated directly in front of me. Hello, Brian Schwartz.
What's going on, man?
Oh man, I'm trying to get my act together, man.
Come on, man. I asked if you wanted me to slap you.
I know, and I declined. I totally declined. Chris, are you okay over there, man? Just Chris is he's trying.
There's a lot of grace today, my friend.
Yeah, we got a lot of grace for you, buddy. It's all good today. I'm literally sitting here propped up. So I just got back from Florida. You just got back from Florida. You just flew in from Florida. You just got here because you actually live in Florida.
I live in Florida.
Yeah,
a little different than what you were doing.
Well, I did hour after hour after hour of live TV for Faith TV or Faith Today, which is Faith TV. And there's Dr. Andre and his beautiful bride. They were super good people. They were very godly people. And, I mean, the guy is just a dude that King Jesus told him in, I think he said 2016. He said, go buy a worldwide network and just make it work. He didn't know nothing about any of it and just went and bought it. And him and his family and his kids do their stuff. And he's like, dude, I want your television show on my network. And I'm like, okay. So we did a live for prime time for Africa, a live for prime time for Europe. And then we did prime time USA. So this side of the world. So they literally, I mean, it was an entire day just waiting for the sun to hit.
But all live moments.
But they were all live.
Okay.
Yeah. So over 6 hours of of live. And anyway, and then I got done with all that, and then ran into Joan Hunter out in the parking lot of a Quick Sack or something. Ran into her and a bunch of other girls. And like, what are you doing? And she says, what are you doing here? And it was crazy. Just we were in Naples, Florida, and she happened to be in Naples, Florida as well. So very supernaturally serendipitous. Yes, it was.
Yes, my friend.
Well, sitting next to you is someone just bringing a little bit of class to our broadcast here today is Miss Rebecca. Some say Tomeo, I say tomato.
Yes.
How are you today?
I am doing great, Pastor. I'm glad that y'all are back.
Oh,
I'm actually
glad to
very
be
excited
back.
that you're in the
I
house,
am.
and we have a lot of people watching us. We got Tennessee in the house. We got Ohio, Georgia, Kathy Riggs, Renee, Aaron Ash, Melissa Trujillo, Zenny from Florida.
Come on,
and
Florida.
Don't forget, as we're throughout the show, comment, share, like. Don't forget to comment where you're from. We might, maybe Pastor Troy, Pastor Shorts, or I will give you a shout out. And thank you for Thank you for partnering with us. Thank you for showing up today. I'm excited for today's show. Also, we just want to remind quick reminders. We have a 24/7 prayer line that is available for you and I throughout the show at any time. If you need prayer, and you just feel that the Holy Spirit's moving you, you know what, I need prayer, I need to stand with someone, call us at 877-413-0888. So Pastor Troy, you know that we got some new partners that have joined us.
Look at this list, man.
I know.
It's a great big list. And
This is
we have there's 47, now this is just within the past week, 47 new stage ones. We have 9 new stage 2 partners, which includes Mariah, Kelly, those are both Texas people, Ginger in Mississippi, Aaron in Wisconsin, right on,
Aaron.
and Jody in
North Dakota. Come on.
Come on,
The
man.
Dakotas.
We're gonna be in South Dakota tomorrow.
I
We'll be
know.
around
Yeah.
the border of North Dakota tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Holly in South Carolina, Tony in Missouri, Nancy in Michigan, Saria in Colorado.
Come on.
Right on.
Yeah.
Way to go,
Wow.
guys. Way to go. And you know what? You're really going to enjoy the fall lineup of all the things, guys, that we're loading up on ODX, including, I don't know. Hey, man, did you load up the Blurry Creature show? Did you guys already
Yes,
load it up
we already got it. We
onto
got it.
ODX? Way to go, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, man, if you guys have not yet seen my 2 hours of blurriness with the Blurry Boys, it came out yesterday. And I mean, it's
phenomenal.
It's fantastic, man.
it's wild.
Yeah.
But it's really good. And
Really good.
I enjoyed every single minute of it.
Yeah. That was fun being there in person,
Yeah,
watching
you were
that
there.
go
You were
down.
just off camera.
Oh man, those guys are great. I love what they're doing.
I do too.
And you went so many different directions, but it kind of hit a lot of different targets, which was really cool. Blurry, rescue, Nephilim. We went all different places. That was fun.
I loved
You did a great job.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
it was
Well,
good.
I didn't feel like I did a great job. And then just because I had a plan. Okay. I had a plan and I was going to blow people's minds. And I
Yeah.
mean, if you guys, whenever y'all watch that episode, notice I have my computer, I have my iPad, I have this notebook out,
Yes.
and I have my phone there.
Yes, I
and I had different things on all those. Like, okay, I know where to take these guys, and
Yeah.
it's going to be
Yeah.
cray. And dude,
Turns out it's their podcast.
it turns out it's their podcast.
I love that. Isn't that funny? Because the Lord does that to you sometimes, right? When you prepare a
Oh, he
sermon,
always
and you're
does
like,
it.
no,
Yeah.
you're not preaching on
I
that
was
today.
so prepared, and I had my act together in such a cool way, and then boom, no,
Yeah.
You did
no,
great.
it didn't work out like that. I mean, they asked me the Bigfoot question at the very beginning. I'm
Oh,
like,
my
okay,
goodness.
well, I'm not surprised. People are seeing scary things.
Yeah.
And I went through Luke 21:11, and that was my starting part of this awesome thing I was
Yes.
going to do. And then they just went, oh, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom,
Wow.
and they just started drilling me, and I never got past. You know,
Yeah.
we never even got out of that.
No,
you know.
no, it pinged a lot of different places.
But it was a very organic
good.
conversation, and it was anointed, and the Spirit of the Lord was there. So,
Praise God.
so guys, you can find that at odx.tv. Go ahead and you put the camera back on me. Yeah, there you go. buddy. Thank you. Hey man, did y'all find somebody sober to work the cameras for us
my
today?
gosh.
Is there anybody sober here in the house? So
Yes, we
hey,
are.
so look, guys, you can actually find all that at odx.tv, and then also we have some third stage people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we do.
Who do
So-
we have? Who do we have?
So
that's
we
bringing
got
partners for third stage?
Dawn from Texas, Elizabeth from North
Yes.
Carolina,
Awesome.
Francine from Colorado,
Another Colorado.
Aiden from Indiana,
Come on, Indiana.
and Kayla from Colorado. Wow.
Oh, Colorado.
I know, Colorado
big.
is in
I'm
the
so
house.
grateful. I am just so grateful for all of our partners. And guys, we really are rescuing more people
Amen.
than you can imagine. I honestly, I can't even keep up with it. And my job is just to celebrate all of our wins. And my job is to rescue the rescuers and make sure that they're all doing very well. And they are. And guys, thank you. Thank you so much, man, for partnering with us. Now, for all of you stage 3 people, you're going to get the first invites to the tickets, and we will probably sell out with just third stage people at our big ODX gathering. And they're free tickets. They're free tickets, but we're going to eat together. We are going to eat together. We're going to spend time together. Alan DiDio is going to be here. I think that even Todd Coconato is coming. I think he is. Todd Coconato, which I'm about to bring him on. I don't know if he's on yet or not. Okay, he's Todd's ready. And then Joseph Z is going to be here. Brian Schwartz is going to be here. I'm going to be here. We're all going to watch. Oh, and also Tony Merkel is going to be coming in. And we're going to watch the first 2 episodes together in the house. And then we'll talk in between. We'll all be sitting up there and we'll talk in between. Yeah. And then after all of that is over with, we're going to field questions from the audience. And we're going to prophesy to everybody. We're going to pray for people. It's going to be crazy cool. So I don't know how you guys sign up for that. And I don't know where you sign up for it. And I don't know anybody that does know.
So we are getting ready to promote that. So please just wait and hold on. If you have any questions, you could call. You could call 877-413-088. So please just be on the watch. And also, if you have not signed up to become a stage 2 or stage 3, this is the time because you guys get first dibs on that. Yep. And so get ready for that. Also, we want to remind everybody that wherever Pastor Troy has been, Ministry TV, it's all on odx.tv, and it's all for saving children. I love Troy Brewer Ministries. I love Spark Worldwide, all the ministries, because we are in the front line of this ministry and we're able to help others in need. And this is what you're doing. Everything that you did in My Faith TV, Pastor, is an open door for worldwide. And I do believe Joseph Z's prophetic word is coming to pass. And it's amazing that we get to partner with you, and you can partner with us by going to odx.tv and partner with us at stage 2 or stage 3, or you could go to troybrewer.com and you could give today.
What a pro you are.
Look at you.
I'm learning.
Yeah, man, you are a pro. And so's Chris, but that's just awkward. I felt awkward whenever. Listen, he doesn't normally do the cameras, and he doesn't normally do it. And so, man, he's standing up to bat for us. He's trying to make things happen.
Yeah,
yes.
Worked hard. He's trained up. Yeah, he's figuring it out. He's doing a great job.
I bet his heart's beating 90 to nothing. Okay, well, guys, today's guest is a very good friend of mine, and you can put the camera on me there, Chris. Thank you, guys. Today's guest is a very good friend of mine, and he actually pastors in Nashville. He contacted me last week because he stalks me a little bit, and he's like, dude, you're in Nashville. Why aren't you at my church? And I'm like, golly, I want to come to your church so bad, but I was only there for one day. We were filming Blurry Creatures, and then that night, I couldn't go to church because I had to go to the Grand Ole Opry.
Come on. Priorities.
Priorities, man. Priorities. And gosh, who was there? What's
Jelly Roll?
Jelly Roll, yeah. Jelly Roll was there at the Grand Ole Opry.
The comedian was there.
Yeah, Leanne Morgan. And she was there. And gosh, everybody that was there was just so good. But guys, let's go ahead and bring him on right now. Pastor Todd Coconato. Hello, my friend.
My brother, how are you, sir? Good to be with you.
I'm
man,
fine
I
as
just want
frog
to say
here.
you're on the forefront. You really are. I mean, I love what you're doing. You're all over the place, and you're doing the work of the kingdom. Everybody needs to know that you're the real deal. And I know you behind the scenes. You're the same exact guy, and you're really doing what you're saying that you're doing. So I just want to appreciate what you're doing, friend.
Well, thanks, man. Thank you very much. This week I'm just here in the States, and I'm not, I'm not out and about, but man, my bride is, and Leanna is in India. And before she was in India, she was in Sri Lanka. Before that, she was in, she was in Singapore. Before that, she was in Indonesia. Before that, she was in Tokyo. And before that, she was in South Korea. And, man, she is, they've been rescuing kids, man, just left and right. They're just rescuing kids. And we got a great team of people over there. And she spent all day long today at a leprosy village, because we actually have, at Troy Brewer Ministries, we have 14 leprosy villages. We have over 600 people in our leprosy villages all over the world. And we've been taking care of them for, we got our first leprosy village about 28 years ago. So we just built a new one this year in Uganda. And so that one there is brand new. And so, man, that's a big part of all these trips is, man, we rescue kids, and then we stop by and visit my leprous peeps and say, hey, and let me tell you how you reach those people for Jesus, man. You hug them. You hug them, you sit down and you eat with them, and you love on them, and you bring them to the table, and you include them in everything that you're doing. And that's how you reach those people for Jesus. So, man, Leanna's out doing that. So it's really cool.
It's amazing. It's amazing, man. I mean, I always, I have a real, I was in Hollywood for many years as a child actor. And while it wasn't necessarily sex trafficking, we saw a lot of molestations, a lot of my friends, things that happened. And there were some sex trafficking things that were going on there too. And so I always saw, I saw this really dark things in Hollywood. It's hard for me to even explain. One time I walked into this club. This is when I was deep in the world before the Lord set me free. And this is crazy, Troy. I don't think I ever told you this story, but they opened this hatch and we went down these stairs, and it was like this whole underground facility that no one knew was there. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the speakeasies. And they have those types of things in Hollywood, and just really, really dark stuff, man. And so, every Christian needs to understand the severity of the child sex trafficking industry. And I think most people don't touch it because they don't want to get involved, but they don't want to open that can of worms. But it's one of the biggest, next to drug trade, it's like one of the biggest businesses in the world, illegal businesses. And there's very few pastors that even talk about it. So we need to all get behind you. We need to get behind what you're doing and understand what's going on. And there is a connection to Hollywood. And by the way, there's also a connection to government. And I think President Trump is better than any other administration that I've seen to really go after this and target it. And I think there's a perfect alignment in the spirit right now. This is part of revival. A lot of people don't understand this, but as there's an awakening and the hunger, and we're seeing lines that are longer than we've ever seen. And something has clearly shifted and changed. But what people don't understand is that as revival happens, the Spirit of the Lord moves in different areas. And it's not exactly what we always think about as a revival, like a church service or a tent crusade. The revival also goes in the halls of government, and it awakens folks to understand the evil that's been going on. And it goes into those dark places and brings new life, because that's what revival ultimately is. It's new life. And so I think that as we see, in these two simultaneous revolutions that are going on, you got the evil plans of the World Economic Forum and all that stuff, but then you got the Jesus movement that's, 2.0, what's happening right now for the end times. And I think that, I just love how you're partnering with this administration and helping to rescue. I mean, thousands, people don't know the numbers. Thousands of these kids have been rescued since President Trump has been in, and he's making it. And tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that, he's making it a lot more of a situation where you can do what you do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we've literally had to fight our own government over the past several decades. You could literally go to prison for rescuing kids in America because they can tag you as a trafficker. And to say that we did not have the cooperation of the government during the Biden administration is quite the understatement. Not only did we not have the cooperation, we had the outright hostility, and how that many parts of the government was being weaponized against guys like us. And I want to tell you this. I mean, I had the FBI show up at my house. And when the FBI shows up at your house and comes and rattles your cage and says, hey, man, we're going to have a talk. And then they showed up in my office, and then they followed me around like I was some nefarious guy, that was doing something bad. And finally, we had a big talk, and the guys that I met with were good guys. It was a man and a woman, and they were polite, but they were like, yeah, well, it's been reported to us that you traffic children, and you say that you actually, that you rescue them, but you've been reported to us as a trafficker, and you're being actually investigated as a trafficker. And I'm like, well, search me out, man. Where do you want to go? What do you want to know? Let's go, And but I was literally labeled and was investigated by the United States government. So of course I was cleared, but what if I hadn't been cleared? What if they were really bad guys? And what recourse would I have to fight that, And so, but all of that changed. Well, let me back up a little bit. The first time that President Trump was president, going back to 2016, I had my FBI guys that I called. I had my super spooks that I called. I had this Rolodex of all these numbers of guys in the government that I called all the time, and whenever we rescued kids, or whenever they rescued kids and they wanted to turn them over to us, or a bunch of those guys are Christians, and if we wanted to pray with them, They would let us pray with them or just minister to them. The day that Biden became the president of the United States, it went gank, 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 every single one. The day that he became the president, though all those lines were cut. And then not only did we not have the resources, but again, we actually had to face hostility. But I'll tell you what, it's the difference between night and day, the day that President Trump became president. And so, I mean, well, it's going to take years for us to close the borders. No, it takes one day. That's all it takes. One day. One day who is willing to do it. That's it. And I praise God for President Trump. I'm very, very grateful for him.
And so am I. And, we toured the border twice, when they made those accusations against President Trump. He was putting people in cages and all this stuff. What I saw was completely different. It almost was like an elementary school environment. It was, they were taking precautionary measures and taking care of the young people that have been, it was a total different situation than the news had reported. And that was when it was really eye-opening to me, Pastor Troy, because, I saw it firsthand and how crazy, totally different than what was reality, was being reported. And I said, man, these people have a real wicked agenda, because you remember that story that was like so big, Trump's putting everybody in cages and everything's so evil. And a lot of people were buying into that, and so, we just happened to get invited down to go tour with some pastors, and we saw the facilities, and I was like, this is nothing like what they're saying, and so to your point, and new administration, they've now put military at the southern border, to protect from the cartels. And, it's like the safest environment that we've probably seen in years. So I'm just so thankful. And you're just, to watch your ministry thrive and do what it's doing. And it's just such a now thing. And I hope, I just think sometimes it's helpful to get like an outside person to come and say, hey, just so you know, like Pastor Troy and what they're doing is beyond amazing. And everybody needs to understand it really is what he's saying, and I just feel like I need to say that today.
Well, I'm very grateful for that, buddy. I really am. And I hope that you'll come go with me to some of these places. Me and Brian Schwartz is sitting here with me, and Brian and I just got back from Guatemala, and then we also got back from Mexico. We went to a bunch of our places in Mexico where we rescue kids. And this year, we've been in Uganda, and Leanna's been all over the Asian part of the planet, and she's over there right now. And no, we actually are. I promise you. So we rescue. We average 3 or 4 kids a week that we actually rescue. And so, and don't you, man?
Oh yeah, firsthand. What's going on, Todd? How you doing, brother?
My brother, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, man. Appreciate everything you're sharing, because I've had the privilege of being able to go see firsthand what's going on all over the planet with this crazy man across from me and this whole crew here. It's that yes they have in their spirit. And man, we just got back from that trip. It was so cool. It's not just rescuing the rescuer, but also helping train nations and help assist with really discipling nations. So that was what was really cool, getting to speak in front of the Congress.
That was amazing.
That was an amazing time.
Brian, are you aware of one of those prosecuting attorneys that was there that day, and we got our picture taken with him, that he was murdered last week?
No. He was?
Do you remember the guy that was on the stage with us? Do you remember that guy? He was murdered last week.
No way.
He was.
And
it made international news, and I actually put it on my Twitter feed.
No way.
They blew up his car. He was in like a level 5 or level 6, which we travel in when we're there. And somebody put a bomb in his car. They blew up his car. It didn't kill him. And somebody filmed it where he made it outside of the car, and he was sitting on the side of the road holding his head, and they just pulled up and shot him to pieces.
Wow.
He sure did.
That is
that dude that you and I were with.
No way.
Yep. Sure did.
Well, that's how dark and nefarious this whole underbelly is, man.
No, I want to tell you, man, they will push back.
Yeah.
They're shocked that anybody does push back as far as the good guys pushing back. And that's Todd, one of the things whenever he was bringing up training up the nations that we've got to do is we have to back the prosecuting attorneys and the attorney generals that are fighting the fight. We have to back them. We have to support them. We have to encourage them. The body of Jesus, it has to be the body of Jesus that does this, because we are the good guys.
That's right. I'm glad you mentioned this. Mario and I actually just talked about this on Firepower, and I think this is so important. But I feel like there's a plan right now to really splinter the MAGA movement and, the conservative movement in general, which of course connects to the church. And the issue is we have to make sure that we understand. I mean, there's key issues like Israel and other, you see it online, and it's really, I think some of this is being funded by some of our enemies as a psychological warfare operation. And what they want to do, if they can just knock off a segment, think about it, like Elon Musk, even though some people may not like him, he definitely helped push the election over the finish line. There's different segments of people that came from, certain independents, things like that. And so that's what I think their motive and agenda is right now. And there's deep, dark money like Soros money and PACs that are involved in this right now. If they can just knock off enough independents or enough people, I mean, where you're at in Texas is a major battleground, and what a big victory that we saw just a few days ago there with the redistricting and that actually going through. But, this has been something that they've been doing in the Democrat states for years. They act like it's some brand new thing. Are you kidding me? They do this in every Democrat state, and they've also used the census, by the way, to count people that are non-citizens. And unfortunately, it's caused different districting. And so what President Trump is trying to do essentially is to bring back legitimacy to our electoral system. And that's a big monumental task, but it has a lot of effects. So I think what you're saying, a lot of times people don't think about voting for judges or voting, or getting behind attorney generals and things like that. But you got to think about it. Soros understands that. That's why you have some of these city attorneys that are just awful and ridiculous. They don't prosecute crime. Look what's happened in California, where I lived for many, many years and pastored for many years. I mean, they don't even go after people that are stealing like up to $1,000. I mean, they're doing these they do runs. I kid you not. Like there's at a Bloomingdale's, and the people like drive up to the door, and there's like a mob of them, and they go in and they just grab all the purses and the handbag. They grab everything. And, when I was younger, the security and the police would chase after them. Now they don't. So what happens is we knew people in our church, Troy, that, worked in these stores. They were terrorized because here, one minute they're sitting in a peaceful store like a Bloomingdale's, the next minute it's overrun by like a mob, and it can get real messy. People are like stampeded, and there's just crazy stuff that happens. These are the types of laws that are happening in these states, and it's caused just a chaos. So I'm thankful that we have a president that's now trying to bring back law and order, but we were in some really crazy situations. There's still a battle. So one of the things that we're trying to do is go into a lot of these deep blue cities and bring the tent there and have crusades there. And we are seeing, there's a lot. I mean, just last weekend, we had a conference at our church, which was like our camp meeting. And last weekend, I don't know if you noticed, but there was like different pockets of revival happening all around the country.
Yes.
I said, something's shifting. Something's happening right now, And so people are waking up and the Lord is moving, but we're in a major spiritual battle,
No, absolutely. And I want to tell you this, and we have to listen, we as the body of Jesus, we have to recognize it. We got to recognize where moves of God are taking place and the new strategy of the Holy Spirit for our nation. And behold, I do a new thing. Shall ye not know it? Most of us don't, we're like, well, that's not a move of God. Rescuing kids is not, a form of revival. Redistricting is not a form of a revival or whatever. No, dude, justice is happening. It's a wave of justice. It's a wave, and we have to recognize those things as a move of God and lift up the people that are in charge of those things.
That's right. I mean, Russell Johnson, Pastor Russell, he had somebody shot on like his steps of his church. And then what ended up happening, and that was a horrible situation, but then, people started flooding the church and surrounding the ministry. And, it's like outpouring is happening there. I mean, so everything that the devil is meant for evil is turning around for good. And I think we have to, I mean, you try telling a parent that has their child return to them that's not revival. You know what I'm saying? You try to tell a family whose kid is coming out of being rescued that's not revival. Are you kidding? That's like, there's nothing more revival than that,
Guys, I'm talking today to my good friend, Pastor Todd Coconato, and he's here with me. And one of the things that I've got to bring up here is I know, and brother, you're making it look so easy. You're killing it. You're knocking it out of the park. But I also know, man, that you're in a big time of mourning that your father passed away just 48 hours ago.
He did.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up, brother. And, it only is by the peace of the Lord. And, we got an elongated period of time where the Lord extended his life. I mean, the doctor said he should have died like months ago. And I got to tell you something, man, just so powerful. But we got, my dad was a real thick-headed macho Italian guy. He was a businessman. He actually put like Tommy Hilfiger in the store for the first time. He's really well known in like the retail industry, so he ended up working his way up the ranks like Macy's and some of the big chains. But, a lot of people knew him and everything, but he's a real tough guy, only guy in his family that went to college. The rest of them were in construction. They actually knew the Trump family, who was also in construction, President Trump's father. So it's kind of interesting. They were in New York. But anyway, long story short, it was like this time period where he said to me, Todd, you know what? You're a good man. And that was probably one of the only compliments that I remember. And it was in this period of time. And,
Wow.
he said some things to my mom so it's just amazing how God works. We know that he's with the Lord today. And thank you for bringing that up. But I want to just speak to anybody who's going through a season of mourning or a difficult season. One thing I know to be true is the Lord can give you a peace that passes understanding. And that's literally what I'm operating. It's like a grace. And so we had this conference this last weekend. He passed right before it. And I'm like, Lord, should we cancel it? What should I do? And he just said, go through with it and just give the Lord glory. And I'm going to give you the strength. And brother, he gave me the strength. And there was a powerful move of God. And I still feel such a peace. And, that's just in these times that we're in, no matter what goes on, whether it's the death of a loved one or a really challenging situation in our life. I think if we really learn to depend on the strength of the Lord, that's what's going to get us through, not to panic, not to get fearful. I think that's what the Lord really wants of his church in general, is for us to trust him and to really go to him every day and die to our flesh and rely on his strength. And he's building up. Look what he's doing, where he's using like a pastor who also rescues, children. He's bringing up people that are from the school of hard knocks. I'm an ex-gangster. But people don't know that, but I used to be involved in gangs in LA many years ago, and drugs, and the Lord redeemed my life, and on top of being in Hollywood. And so I think that things that many of us have walked through, and it's different things, different things,
Yep.
but he'll use those things for his glory, and he'll redeem those things. And that's what I think he's doing right now. He's raising up prodigals and misfits and folks that don't look like a typical person. When I walked into a church for the first time, it was Dr. Hayford's church. I was sweating and nervous and completely out of place. And it took me 2 years, brother, to make Christian friends and to really get out of the old lifestyle that I was in, and actually get involved in the body of Christ, because I felt so different, but these are the folks that I think he's bringing and he's raising up in this hour that have the tenacity and the chutzpah to go against cartels, to go against some of these things that maybe in the past folks would have done. And so don't despise where you came from, and just give the Lord all glory. He's a forward moving God. He'll use your gifts. He'll use whatever it is. Nothing that you've been through will be wasted. He'll use what you walked through for his glory, especially in this hour.
Pastor Todd, I'm so grateful, man, for you, for being on this show, and I love you, and I'm your buddy, and me and you are going to do some cool things together very soon, and we're actually talking about doing a conference together, aren't we?
Yeah, well, I'll just kind of give a teaser. I'd love to, if the Lord, maybe your audience can be praying for this, but I'd love to get the Grand Ole Opry.
I want to do it at the Grand Ole Opry.
Have you out here with maybe you and me and Joseph Z and Alan DiDio, and I really feel like that's something that we need to do. So just be praying and believing. We already have people working on it right now, but we're looking maybe into early next year. Excellent. And that would just be amazing.
Okay. Hey, Pastor Todd, how do people get a hold of you, man? If they want to find your stuff, how do they do that?
Thank you, my friend. Well, you just go to pastortodd.org. Super easy, pastortodd.org. And that's kind of like our hub, and we'll meet you there.
Okay. I want to see what it is we're about to go to. So guys, this is Pastor Todd Coconato, and be sure and look up his stuff. He's a good friend of mine, and I love him. I love his ministry, and he's a smart dude. He's a whole lot smarter than me. So be sure and check him out. Hey, listen, God bless you, my friend, and thank you again for joining me.
Love you, my brother. We'll talk to you soon. God
hey,
bless.
Bye-bye. Wow, that's pretty cool. Isn't that good of him to get on, man?
Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, he's the brother's grieving this week.
I know.
And he joined, and here he is joining us. These things are these things. So you were with me at Blurry Creatures. You were off camera, and we're actually gonna, whenever we come back, we're gonna show some of that show, and we're actually gonna talk about it. And then me and you are gonna get blurry a little bit behind the veil.
Come on, let's go.
Right
blurry.
on. We're gonna talk some wild stuff behind the veil. And what else do I need to tell everybody, Ladybug?
No, just that tonight you will be bringing the word to Open Door Church at 7 p.m. and we will be having baptism.
Yep.
So we're excited for that. And also,
baptism.
We want to remind everybody for Sunday. Is that okay?
Yeah,
the
of
machine.
course.
We have a. Do you want to talk a little bit about him?
Okay, so Sam Childers, the machine gun preacher, is going to be with us on Sunday.
Okay, we're ready.
Exactly right. I've been talking about this for the last month, but I didn't find out about it until today. So I'm like, really? We haven't promoted that? I haven't said one thing about it. We haven't promoted it in church. There's nothing on. And I was like, yeah, we're going to do that like on Friday or something. Outstanding. Okay, guys, you need to know this. The machine gun preacher. is going to be here this coming Sunday. Sam Childers. I've been trying to hook up with him for a long, long time. I've got a big dream to get he and I and Tim Tebow and these world famous guys who have rescued kids. I want us all to get together and sit at the same table and have a
That'd be
huge
fun.
discussion. And so I've been wanting to connect with this guy for a long time, but he's going to be here at Open Door Church this
Yeah,
coming
we're
Sunday.
ready.
So again, I'm sorry I didn't tell y'all. I know that there's a lot of people that would have came in from out of town to do that. So if you can still get here. But I can't wait to have this, brother.
It's gonna be fun.
So are you okay with us showing the promo for him before behind
so
the bell?
right on. So let's do that. So let's show the promo, and then we will go directly behind the veil. Y'all wanna do
Perfect.
that?
Sounds good.
Okay. What else do we need to tell everybody?
That's it pretty much. And if you have not signed up for ODX stage 2 or stage 3, right now is the time. We are going to a paywall, and we do this so we won't get censored and we could dive deep into the word, dive deep with Pastor Troy and Pastor Short. So get ready. If you have not signed up, do that today. This is how we can save children and rescue and be the hands and feet of Jesus. All right. We'll see you on the other side.